Well, hey there, Catherine Langman here, and back with another episode of the Productpreneur Success Podcast. And right now, towards the end of May, my focus in my own businesses and with my clients is really on how we can make sure that we can smash out the best possible results between now and the end of our financial year, which, shock horror, is somehow just about upon us. Gosh, this year has flown by so fast. But also, really making sure that we're putting the right strategies in place now so that we will also, see us achieving the best possible results in the second half of the calendar year, particularly, of course, the fourth quarter, which is always when the highest sales volumes happen for e-commerce. But of course, they don't happen by accident. We need to be putting the right impetus in place for those results to come out the other end. Now, of course, email marketing is going to be a huge part of this. However, for some of you, there may be a little bit of repair work that needs to be done inside your email account if you, ever hope to make some good money from your email list. Now, I'm well aware that some of you think email marketing is dead or that it's just not where the real money is. And some of you think email marketing is really annoying for your customers, so you're reluctant to send any of these emails out yourself. You may not be in either of those buckets, but I think you'll still find some really good value from what I'm going to be sharing today. But back to those kinds of opinions about email marketing, the evidence really does say otherwise. Statistically speaking, email marketing still produces the highest ROI of any marketing channel, and of course, even more so combined with SMS, as I was talking about recently on the podcast. And of course, you can do that so cleverly with Klaviyo. So if your own email marketing is a little bit dead in the water, then chances are you might have killed it yourself, either by sending no emails or only sending spammy, salesy emails, or just boring the pants off your audience. Have you ever heard of the marketing expert and author Seth Godin? He's written several books. They're all really good. Not that I've read all of them, but I have read some of them. And he believes that marketing is a contest for people's attention. And it really, really is, more and more so as, we have so many more channels of content that we're all being bombarded with, from our Netflix to our various social media channels to, any other kind of content that we're consuming on our mobile phone, of course. Unfortunately, it is a contest that most marketers are not winning. And it's pretty dire when it comes to marketing emails for many. And while many email marketers might have done the right thing when setting up their email lists using a program like Klaviyo that, subscribers have to opt in and they're giving us permission. So we've done all of the right things from a permission and security and privacy perspective. But many of the subscribers on these lists are kind of dead email subscribers. They're not responding. Now, I remember late last year when I went to hubby's work Christmas party, and I wasn't very well at the time, but I kind of put on my, tried to put on my big girl panties along with a ton of under eye concealer and my biggest smile. And I went along like the good wifey I sometimes am. And I got stuck at the very end of the table opposite probably one of the most boring people in the room. I'm sure she's quite lovely if you get to know her, but she just literally had nothing to say. And I was, trying to ask questions, trying to find out what she's interested in and trying to just strike up a bit of a conversation. But I just got one word answers every time. Door shut. Right, at least there was wine. Anyway, is there anything more damaging to your social life than being labeled as the party bore? I mean, bad BO maybe. So today I Googled how to be boring and it comes up with thousands and thousands of results. So I guess it's a bit of a problem then. And so anyway, scientists have discovered there are 9 keys to being boring. Did you know that? They include displaying disinterest in others and only talking about yourself. Having banal conversations, so really talking only about trivial or superficial things or repeating the same stories and jokes over and over again. Not showing interest in the conversation. So that was my dinner date as described before. Tediousness with key points, like really talking slowly or taking too long to get to the point. No opinion on anything. So no explanation necessary there. Self-preoccupation, perhaps a date with a guy who talks only about himself, which is pretty boring. Constant seriousness. No one feels inspired to talk to you, if you're always the most serious person in the room. I know I'm totally generalizing and all the rest of it here, and I could go on. The last one on the list was being distracted by other things. And, the joke being, excuse me, just got a text message. Let me just reply to that. Just kidding. Now, I don't think any of us would knowingly behave like this in our personal relationships. I'm sure, we would try hard not to, especially us women who are usually, the ones good at nurturing personal relationships. And that's often fairly important to us. And, in our personal lives, we show interest by listening and asking questions and, being responsive to our friends and keeping in touch. And we try to, find ways to add value for each other and look out for each other and help each other. And we connect on a more emotional level on things that are way more meaningful to us than the weather. So let me ask you, how many of these habits of boring people do you make in business? Because I definitely see some brands making these sorts of mistakes all the time with their digital marketing content. So in a nutshell, it's like we are, what was that brand that was always in the Bugs Bunny cartoons? Acme. We are Acme. We make Acme Dynamite. Call us if you want one. Perhaps that is oversimplified, but hopefully you get my drift. Now, I do understand that the ultimate goal in business is to make a sale or many, but if you can do it in a way that also engages with your customers, then you're definitely going to be reaping the rewards. And you'll be reaping the rewards in terms of customers buying more often at full price rather than always waiting for a sale. Also in terms of enjoying higher customer retention rates with customers coming back to buy from you again and again because they enjoy their interactions with your brand and they really love dealing with you. So let's dive in and let's talk about how you can really re-engage with your email subscribers. Now, firstly, there's just, if you do have a bit of a dead email list or you've got a big chunk of your email list who are quite dead in the water, they're disengaged, they're not opening their emails, they're not responding in any way. And, if that's kind of where you're at, there's not really an easy way to admit that your email list is dead. And you often don't realize it immediately. It can take some time, and several emails for you to realize it. And you only, eventually you might see that there's really low open rates, really, really low click-through rates, and just no action. No one's clicking on your emails, heading to your website, etc. And then you realize that it's dead. If you are on Klaviyo, you can kind of see inside, you'll see the trends and you'll get your benchmark metrics, but there's loads of data on the Klaviyo website as well about, the sort of benchmark averages that you should expect for your industry. And you might then be wondering what went wrong. If we drag out the death puns here a little bit longer, you might start going through the 5 stages of grief. But having this dead email list is really not acceptable. It's something that you must fix. Thankfully, you can revive a dead email list. What might now be a wasteland can become a thriving hub of customer activity if you take the right steps to make it happen. But revitalizing your email list is not an overnight process. It will take a little bit of work and, implementing a solid strategy. But with the right actions, you can breathe new life into your email list and start to generate those healthy revenues again from that list. So let's go through the 5 steps to reviving a dead list. And the first is really diagnosing the cause of death. Sorry, I'm having fun with these puns today. The first step is to conduct a thorough post-mortem analysis. What happened to your list? Was it a freak accident or a degenerative problem? These are some of the most common causes of list death. Starvation. Have you been stingy in the past? Have you withheld value from your subscribers? And if so, that's probably why your list died. Starvation happens when you don't offer your subscribers anything they want. If there's no value for someone to be on your list, then they will unsubscribe or mark your emails as spam or just stop opening them. You really have to earn your way into their inboxes. Secondly, boredom, as we spoke about before. Being bored might not kill people, but it does kill email lists. If you send out the same newsletter every week, or just plain old boring content that is bland and unengaging, and you never do anything special, you could be boring the brains out of your subscribers, or in fact, they probably just won't even notice you in their inbox anymore. Annoyance. Just as doing too little is lethal, so is doing too much. Bombarding your users' inbox, particularly with spammy or irrelevant content, is perhaps the fastest way to kill a list, and it's a far too common cause of list death. Apathy is the next one. When people churn from a list, it's generally because they stopped caring about your content. So if you're starving, boring, or annoying people, you're probably causing them to become apathetic about your content. In other words, the negatives of your list are greater than the positives. They just don't care anymore. And I want to add another one onto this list as well. If you haven't also consistently focused on growing your email list, and you are constantly, sending out lots and lots of discounty, promotion-y type things to the same people, and there's no kind of fresh faces joining the group kind of thing, then you will burn them out that way as well. Step 2 is getting a plan together. You guys know I love a good plan. Now that you've figured out why your list died, make a plan to remedy the problem. And you will need to be giving lots of value to your subscribers and then maintain your email list the right way. At this step, it's a good idea to create an email content calendar. So you want to decide how often that you will send content and what kind of content that you will be sending. And to this end, you can actually download a free content calendar if you need a little bit of help and guidance on how to plan out that kind of content for emails. And also you can use it to plan out your social media content as well. Then you can actually get that from me. I have a brand new downloadable that I have just finished creating for you. You can get it for free today. Just head to katherineLangman.com/content-planner. And I will be sure to add that link onto the show notes page for this episode as well. Now, the best first step I like to take when reviving or re-engaging an old or dead email list is have a think about 5 to 10 stories or scenarios or situations that your ideal customers would typically experience that your products could solve. And then tell those stories in your emails. So for example, our client Baby Loves Sleep sells an ingenious baby sleep suit invention that calms a baby's startle reflex so that the baby can soothe themselves to sleep and stay asleep. Now, as you can imagine, a customer who may be interested in this kind of product probably has a baby that isn't sleeping well. So the parent is also probably fairly sleep deprived as well, and, no doubt looking for some solutions. A situation her customers are currently grappling with is the change in seasons from, here in Australia, warmer nights to colder nights, which would be why her recent email about tips for winter sleeping performed so very well. Now, don't skimp on this planning step. You need to really make sure that you that you really get to know your customers and your subscribers better than before, and you'll need to be exceeding their expectations if you want to get your list back and responding. As you're planning your email content, also make sure that you will be applying best practices with sending your emails, because this will also prevent you from making your subscribers angry, bored, or hungry, maybe, annoyed, or apathetic. So let me just give you 3 real quick tips that, in terms of best practices that you can incorporate with your emails. Number 1, focus on the subject line. As advertising guru David Ogilvy once said, on average, 5 times as many people read the headline as the body copy. When you have written your headline, you have spent 80 cents out of your dollar. And the same goes for emails. The subject line is your heading. And it's been proven over and over again, if there is one part of your marketing emails that you should spend the most time finessing, it is your subject line. So don't spend hours fussing over your design or, the time of day that you're going to send it or anything like that. Spend most of your time crafting highly enticing subject lines. And you really want your subject lines to grab people's attention fast, You want to increase their desire to click through and find out more. And you want to start by avoiding really salesy words or all caps or anything like that. That's going to really be flagged by your recipients' spam filters, and it'll cause your emails to end up in their spam folder rather than the inbox. And if there is ever a desert wasteland where emails go to die, it's the spam folder. If your subject line looks like it belongs in a shouty kind of junk mail catalog or TV commercial, then go back and write it again. A few other things to remember with subject lines is shorter is better, so 50 characters or less. You could ask questions. That's always good. Don't be in a rush to promote something. So no all caps, no exaggerated promotional phrases, and go easy on the exclamation marks. Definitely no clickbaiting. If you mislead your audience once, they probably won't forgive you. And it is also helpful where possible to use urgency, but also don't overdo this tactic. So, like always being on sale, because that won't help. That's probably the shortest road to training your audience to wait to buy until your next sale. Number 2, let's quickly talk about your email design. Less is more with emails. Effective visual communication requires a good use of images, call to action buttons, and white space so that the reader can, so that it's really clear. Clarity is super important. The reader needs to quickly and easily get the gist of your message and know where to click. They aren't going to sit there and read it thoroughly like they're studying for an English exam. They're going to gloss over it, right? So don't overstyle it or go too heavy on the fancy design, gorgeous images, animated GIFs, heavily styled layouts. A little bit of that is great, but too much, and your email is likely to also be picked up by algorithms and sent to the spam folder. Also, we now know that if your email content is too heavy, like if it's over 102 kilobytes in terms of total file size, then Gmail will actually clip it, hiding some of the contents from view with probably like a read more link at the bottom. So again, then your audience don't see the content, which is not helpful. And thirdly, my third tip, just real quickly here, is about your copy, the words. Now, you do not need to be a Pulitzer Prize winning author to write effective email copy, but you do need to write for the medium. Most people these days are reading their emails on their mobile phones, so you need to make sure that you're using short sentences and short paragraphs. Literally aim for about grade 5 level of English. So that the reader isn't scrolling for days to get to the point. And also just remember, your audience's attention is distracted. We have so many different channels of content that's vying for their eyeballs. So they're only going to be skimming this stuff. So don't write really solid, thick text that's just difficult to decipher. All right, moving on to the third step in our revival procedure. And this is about giving away something valuable. At the end of the day, people love free stuff, and your subscribers are no exception. Freebies can literally take a list from 0 to 100 if you do it right. And for this step, I actually want to advise you to run a giveaway. Now, here's the catch. You need your old cold email list to actually see this giveaway offer, right? And the chances are they probably won't if you only rely on sending it to them via email. Now, I do want you to send it to them on email, probably, 2 or 3 times, obviously not exactly the same content, change it up a little bit, tell some different stories like we were talking about. But send it a few times on email. And then I also want you to retarget that email list using social media advertising. And to do this is pretty simple. You can either set up a direct integration between Klaviyo and Facebook ads to create a custom audience of this email list, or of course you can do it manually by downloading a CSV file of your email list and then upload that to your ads manager. Once you have this custom audience set up, then you can create a lead ad that targets that custom audience and essentially gets them to re-opt in to your list. And of course, the carrot that you are dangling is the giveaway prize. Ideally, you want to have Klaviyo and Facebook Ads Manager integrated so that the giveaway entries are instantly being added back into your Klaviyo list. Now, why would you do this when they're already subscribed? Because the simple act of re-opting into your list is, and of itself, a way of engaging with your list again. Now, you should also have an automated email going back to them once they have entered the giveaway to confirm their entry has been received. And I would strongly suggest, if there's a way that you can ask them a question that you want them to hit reply or click on a link or do something like that from that automated email, that's going to make it even more secure in your email list in terms of being marked as an engaged contact. Number 4, get your subscribers to take action. So the next step you want to follow to get your hopefully now thawing out email list to take is to actually click on one of your emails. So this is the next stage of engagement that we want them to take after actually opening the email. So after sending the giveaway emails and running that Facebook campaign to encourage your existing audience to re-opt in, and by the way, you can also get new subscribers to opt into your list with that lead ad giveaway campaign. That's, don't waste an opportunity to grow your list as well. But the next thing that we need them to do is to select a winner of the giveaway and then find a way to encourage the non-winners to click and hopefully buy. Obviously, you notify that winner. That's should go without saying. But this is where you send a series of 3 emails to the non-winners, which is the majority of the list, with an irresistible offer, like an exclusive gift voucher or something like that, which is almost like a consolation prize for non-winners, right? So the goal here is to invite subscribers to open the emails, click through to your website, fall in love with your products, and hopefully make a purchase because you have given them an offer too good to refuse. Then the 5th and final stage and step in our process of re-engaging a dead email list is to deliver and over-deliver. After you've given away your freebie, you should hopefully be seeing some higher engagement on your emails. And so this means you've perked the ears of your subscribers again, so you don't want to let them down. So this means sticking to your email schedule and sending out quality content to your email list on a regular basis. Now, every email you want to be sending out, you should be providing something valuable, even if it's something small. And, I'm not talking about always sending an offer or an incentive. I'm talking about valuable content and useful information or entertaining content or edutainment. I always love that made up word. And so now that you've regained your audience's attention, you have to keep it. And that means taking your standards of quality and consistency to the next level. But what if you're still seeing inactive subscribers, you might be thinking? Even after you do all of this, you will most likely still have some unresponsive subscribers, and that's okay. Part of this process was also to identify which contacts are the ones that, really truly no longer need or want what you have to sell. People do outgrow us, right? Depending on what you sell, that you're going to have a fairly distinct customer lifetime that they're going to be buying for your kind of stuff, and then they'll move on, and that's okay. It's normal. So the ones who did not engage at all, never opened an email at all throughout this entire process, it's time to let them go. And if you are on Klaviyo, you simply need to suppress those contacts. It's not hard. So remember, at the end of the day, reviving a dead email list is really just about injecting value. Your audience needs to associate your brand with value, right? And the other important outcome of this process is to get yourself into a habit of sending emails consistently and regularly. Not just when you have a new product you want them to buy or an end of season sale. You've got to make this a habit, right? At least weekly, please. Both outcomes will see your email list in a much healthier place, where your audience rewards you by placing orders and generating a healthy return on investment and, of course, a return on effort, which is what we need as small business owners. So that's it for today's episode. Hopefully, after all of that, we have successfully re-engaged and reinvigorated your email lists. Now, of course, if you need help, please just give me a shout, because email marketing is literally my favorite part of what I teach my coaching students and what we do for clients in our agency. Now, of course, the first way you can get help from me today is to go ahead and download that new freebie, the content planning template. So you can just go to katherinelangman.com/content-planner. And beyond that, if you would like a little bit more personalized help from me, then I would love to invite you to book a free strategy session with us. We can talk about, the various ways that we can help you to launch, scale, or grow your business. So if you'd like to do that, just head to katherineLangman.com/work-with-me. And we'll include that link in the podcast show notes page as well. But for now, I really hope that you have enjoyed that. Have a fabulous rest of the day and week, and I will be back on the show with you again next week. Bye for now.